Typically, when we first talk to a customer, it's one of two scenarios. It's either something broke and I need to replace it, or it's I've been dreaming about this and I want a new panel. And they're slightly different conversations.
The first conversation that we have with a customer when we're discussing their upgrades, or repair for that matter, is to just listen. I ask a lot of questions. What type of aircraft, how they fly the aircraft, and then what type of certifications the pilot has.
What are their goals? Are they just a weekend flyer? Are they, okay, I'm taking my family, we're flying around the country. I'm going somewhere every week.
What is it in your airplane that you want to keep? Are you keeping this? Do you want to retain that? Are we doing a new panel? Are we going to try to make it fit in the old existing panel?
We typically go through 8 or 9 revisions to a quote. And before that final panel is complete, we've done many, many revisions of the layout.
The happiest customers and the most efficient jobs are done when everybody's aligned at the start on what we're trying to do and what the key benefits are that we want on the other side of this install. If you're planning on having this airplane 5-10 years, let's make a plan for 5-10 years.
So we can actually save the customer quite a bit of money by doing it in phases, if we know in the very beginning where they want to be at the end of the day.
We'll sometimes have conversations with customers who say, well, I can only do a G5 now, but maybe next year we'll do another G5, and then next year we'll do an autopilot, and next year we'll do an EIS. And so if it's going to be that kind of roadmap, that's where it pays to do the right upgrade the first time.
We can make sure that it's preloaded, provisions are there for the next system down the road, and lay that foundation behind your panel. It's not going to disrupt any of your flying, it's not going to interrupt any of the systems, but that foundation is there for the next phase.
We do 90% like clean slate installs. Even if we're retaining some legacy equipment, we'll probably rewire that with new wiring and new harnesses just because we don't want to use the old wire.
We've seen mistakes in manufacturing from 1963, right? Rivets in wrong places, and we've been able to go back in and fix those manufacturing defects or occurrences from hard landings and thousands of hours on these aircraft.
I've got a whole photo library full of stuff we've seen behind panels. Spaghetti monsters, that's the biggest one. So you get like a 70s airplane that had an upgrade in the 90s, and now it's coming in, 30 years later for another upgrade. And there's remnants of 3 different systems in there with wires just cut and loose.
So you're gonna have a newer, lighter, safer aircraft, and then a cleaner look on your panel at the end of the day.
We'll give it to our engineer for our CAD drawing. We'll make the panel on actually what will fit, where it will, because we actually put a piece of plexiglass in there where we can see behind it. And so we will put the equipment in there, the instruments, to make sure it all fit. We send that CAD drawing to the customer. Is this good?
A lot of times there's still a technician working on the wiring diagrams and the wiring prints and engineering and wiring harness in the back while somebody's starting to engineer mounting. We got to figure out how we're going to mount everything in the panel, create rails, create mounting points for the new panel, remove the old panel.
At that point, when power is put on the airplane, I can usually give a good time of when it's going to be done. So I can say to the customer, hey, we put power on, we have a couple little squawks, usually always something, little squawks here and there. We're going to be ready in roughly 2-3 weeks. Okay, I'm going to start planning my trip to come down. Don't deliver on a Friday afternoon. Give yourself, Tuesday, Wednesday, you give yourself 2 or 3 days to pick up the airplane and make sure it's done right. If you have a problem, we can correct it then, and not trying to do it in New York or California or wherever you're at and over the phone and troubleshooting with some guy that's an A&P that's never seen the aircraft before, the equipment before.
The dealer route, going to a dealer for your installation gives you, for lack of better terms, more muscle in the industry. Let that dealer help you. Let that dealer communicate back with Garmin, with warranty, with certification questions, integration questions. even after the fact. If I'm asked, why should I go to Garmin versus brand X? I look at the infrastructure that Garmin has.
You want to invest in avionics that are going to be reliable and give you the features you want, but you also want to invest in the avionics that are going to be a smart investment for your airplane and are going to be supported. That obviously means manufacturer support and technical support.
I can pick up the phone and within 5 minutes, I've got a real person on. I don't need to leave a voice message. I don't need to leave an email and get me back the next 24 hours. I got somebody on the phone, they're helping me troubleshoot it.
You can find a Garmin dealer at every major metropolitan area, every airport. You know, the network is large. We all work with each other.
Again, that goes to that total ownership experience to me of you're marrying a company as much as you're buying avionics, for better or for worse, and so choose wisely. And so it's not enough for it just to check the boxes on features. It needs to be a solution that works for you year after year and is supported and can be maintained and is reliable. And that's consistently where, for us, Garmin Avionics seem to come out on top.